We're gonna focus on motherhood, what it means to be a mother in today's day and age, and the way that society actually isolates mothers and demeans motherhood.
All good people are asleep and dreaming.
Rosalind has a very interesting situation because she lives in Nicaragua part-time, which is a very different world from LA, where we are now. So what are the differences that you've noticed in terms of interacting with the environment while having children?
Okay, so if you go to the city in Nicaragua, if you go to the mall, people assume you're going to have kids with you. It's not like the mall here where they're like, oh my God, like why is your kid here? The malls in Nicaragua, they just assume there are kids. Breakables are put on high shelves. They assume there's a little baby running around the store. In almost every store, there's a little corner with toys for the kids to play. So whatever store mom goes into, the kid looks for like, oh, where's my spot? There it is. And then the kid goes to play. And then they also have activities going on in the mall for the kids all the time. It's just very expected wherever you go, whatever you do. If you go to a restaurant, like they expect kids to be there with their parents. It's not like, oh my God, there's a child, shut that thing up. It's there's usually an area for families and an area for not families too. And I don't want to say usually because every place is different. But I've met an interesting couple there who they grew up in New York, but they were actually from Peru. But they had grown up in New York. When they had kids, they moved to Nicaragua because they said, listen, if we lived in the U.S., we would have one kid. But because we live in Nicaragua, we have 4. Because it's so much more fun to have kids in Nicaragua than it is to have kids in the United States. And part of it is just the cost of living and the cost of having help. In Nicaragua, you can afford the help that you need to really enjoy having your kids. Whereas here, the minimum wage laws ensure that only upper class people can have help, and middle class people cannot have help.
Something people don't like to acknowledge.
Yeah.
So I found that becoming a mother was actually, it wasn't isolating for the reasons that I was told it was going to be isolating. It was isolating because the people around you who say it's going to be isolating are the exact same people who isolate you. The people that warn you that having children ends your life and stops you from doing things, etc., are the same exact people who are actually incapable of accommodating families at all. And actually, there's a lot of discrimination, and I don't like using the word, I use it very literally. There are people who will discriminate against you because you have a small child with you. Businesses, individuals, etc.
As a libertarian or anarchist who thinks in terms of principles, the principle that 25% of the population is prohibited from existing, basically, is not allowed to leave their house, or the 25% of the population is allowed to be at school or at home, and not allowed to...
Nothing in between. Scheduled, rigorous...
And policed and babysat at all times. You're not allowed to be alone. You have to be watched, and you have to be, and it should be organized by a grown-up telling you what to do. 25% of the population has no rights whatsoever at all.
Exactly.
And that to me...
And we believe in the free market. We believe in you can discriminate against us all you want, but when it is the norm to discriminate against people with young kids, it shows that there's a certain rot in a society.
Well, no, that's what it's legally. This is legal discrimination against children.